But you ready to watch apparently the worst Gears of War E-Day beta review? Now, this is from someone called Dreamcast Guy. I only know certain certain aspects of this. Of this person literally has said himself, he is what the internet calls a PlayStation fanboy, and he talks so much shit about Xbox because, and there's like a clip that's running around that I've noticed of him saying he only talks bad about Xbox when rent is due. So maybe that's what this video is. Maybe rent's due. But like, and another thing is going that is wrapped around his name whenever I looked it up for this video. Apparently he's an advocate for the if you know the show Breaking Bad, pretty much the concept of that show. But I figure we might watch that before Gears of War. Wait, what's this? Ghost Recon 25th Anniversary Showcase? Okay, we'll watch that after. I did not know that at all. Trying to fix my sleep schedule currently. I am not concerned with my sleep schedule. I will admit that, because like when Gears comes out, I have made the decision. When Gears comes out, I'm going to plan a 24-hour stream for the release date of Gears of War E-Day. I didn't do it for Halo. Halo, a lot of unforeseen things kind of like released around like Halo's release time. But yeah, let's watch this this video that's going around, and it was linked to me, and all was said was like, this is the worst review I've ever seen, and I'm curious. So let's check out.
Hey there, gamers, Dreamcast Guy here. Today we're talking about the Gears of War E-Day beta, because they actually launched it a day
I did put in audio, right? Yeah. Okay, I see it.
early. I happened to be online. The people that bought the game day one, they had early access to it last night.
And that I'm gonna have to restart it.
Dreamcast Guy here. Today we're talking about the Gears of War E-Day beta, because they
Okay.
actually launched it a day early. I happened to be online. The people that bought the
It didn't get released a day early. It got released for like an hour, I think, because that's whenever they were flipping on the switches for the servers. And also, what a pause I did on him. But it was released, not released. That's wrong phrase for it. It was for them to like put it on, and Twitter kind of blew up saying turn it back on now. Ubisoft is giving away Ghost Recon Future Soldier right now until the 13th. Ooh. I mean, I already own Future Soldier. To me, Future Soldier is my favorite one.
the game day one. They had early access to it last night for a couple of hours, both the Horde Siege mode and the versus multiplayer. So I got some kills, I took down some grubs, I tried out the new game modes. And I got to admit that first impressions, just high level after playing a couple hours of this, I'm tempted to ask for a refund. Now, I'm very much an old school Gears War fan.
And that's perfectly fair if you want a refund. Like if Gears is not for you, that's perfectly fair. But I'm curious on why.
I mean, straight up, the reason I bought the Xbox 360 was literally because of Gears of War. It's actually also the reason I bought my first HD TV, was because Gears of War just looked so gory fantastic. And not only
You bought a whole TV just for a game? I'm not questioning the financials of that, but let's hear. When did Gears of War 1 come out? I want to say 2006, but I could be wrong. I did not play Gears of War 1 at launch. I got my 360 around Halo 3's release, but not immediately because, again, financials. But wow. Okay. I put a link to it in Discord for the Future Soldier game.
these games have great stories, great world, great monster design. I think that part of what makes them so different is that heavy physicality, slamming into a wall, doing an active reload, blasting somebody with a Nasher shotgun to get a headshot mid-action roll. There's something very different about Gears that makes it work, but E-Day feels like it's trying to be Call of Duty.
Oh, you know it's going to be a bad review talk when you compare a game that looks and plays nothing like Call of Duty and you just compare it to Call of Duty. And wait a minute, I'm just not remembering this. Dreamcast guy is isn't he the guy that advocated for Spider-Man so much? Like, don't get me wrong, Spider-Man is like the next generation console version of the of the Batman Arkham games, because like the previous gen version of that, let's be real, Batman dominated the superhero games and Spider-Man's dominating the superhero games. I highly doubt Wolverine is, but Jesus.
Looser movement, something about just in general running around and aiming feels downright sloppy, and on top of that, they've completely overhauled the running. Every single part of the movement.
Yes. If I know paying attention to dev updates is not really everyone's thing. I don't really have the accessibility to pay attention to every dev updates for games I play, but I do try to stay aware with like game updates and everything. And even the coalition themselves said nothing from Gears carried over. Like when they started working on Unreal Engine 5, they started from literally scratch. Like, and scratch is like even most of it because like they had to rebuild everything for this new engine. So, of course.
The action, the climbing, the jumping, just this is straight up feels like it's trying to be a Gears of War that's afraid of being Gears of War. But let's talk about it. Hi.
This is actually the most Gears of War game we've had in years. Like, playing through the marathons, I will admit, I might have been a little harsh on Gears 4 because, like, I had more fun playing Gears 4's, like, campaign and, like, a little bit of the gameplay part of it more than 5. Like, 5, God, I was so tuned out with the story with 5. But I will say, like, definitely the gameplay mechanics of 5 didn't really feel like it too much, even though it was still, like, fluent.
Hope you're having a great day. If you could please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. So, consider this just to be some first impressions. Maybe I'll change my mind when the game actually comes out, but I wanted to talk about it as a Gear War super fan, how I feel after getting some headshots and picking up some super weapons, right? So for this...
Hold on. You called yourself a Gears super fan. Do you even follow the updates that Gears did? Like, I know your channel's so solely based around PlayStation and hating on Xbox, but we're already like a 2-minute, like barely 2 minutes in, and you've already contradicted yourself so much, saying like how much oh my god, my head already hurts.
Beta, we're going to have access to just a couple PvP versus maps and one Horde mode map. Let's talk about Horde mode first. This is a new, completely invented mode called Horde mode Siege. Now,
Horde mode Siege. It's just Horde Siege. Okay. That's fine. I mispronounce things. That's fine. That it happens. Sometimes a lot happens and then you can't, Jesus Christ.
We've had Horde mode in a lot of different versions and pretty much every single Gears of War since 2. And honestly, this is a mode that has been very addicted to me. Wave-based multiplayer with increasingly tough beasties coming at you over and over again. And I always like the resource management of it. Trying to fight people off as the locusts get tougher, you do have to gear up, reload, and upgrade. But they've introduced a class system. Honestly,
Introduced? I'm sorry, introduced. No. No, that's wrong. That's so wrong. And I'll explain to you why that's wrong. The class system has been in Gears Horde mode for a good while. It to me, honestly, the class system was the worst in Gears 4 because it was heavily revolved around a gacha system. But it's been around since Judgment. So you saying it was introduced in here, it is already factually wrong.
This to me is the best part of the beta by far. It is really cool that you pick somebody like an assault, a medic, a support, and then when you go into these maps, by killing stuff, you get experience points that allows you to customize your class and also customize your weapon, basically having like a perk loadout system, but you can also do weird stuff like unlock bayonets for the shotguns. And it's really fun to see that escalating power. Now, in the couple hours I've played of it, so far there wasn't any of the like barriers and stuff. And some of the other Gears of War, they had it where you could put down like traps or aiming dummies or even like barbed wire and stuff.
Except there is these things. It's when you go to like that little store thing. I already forgot what it's called. I'm going to call it a supply cache. For the starting class, the very first one, I want to say it's assault. You can buy razor traps and spike traps, and razor traps already do affect you. I found that out yesterday. So, like, it is there. I don't know what's in with all the other classes because you have to go to the store for that.
Try and slow stuff down. Now, what's cool about this is that this is not replacing the original siege mode or the original horde mode. Instead, this is like an additional thing. So, in the other games, there was like this wave-based survive as long as you can, and sometimes that would last literally hours. There was a time where me and my friends sat down and played like literally, I want to say almost 10 hours straight of horde survival just because.
If you are on one map for horde survival for 10 hours, that is the biggest skill issue I've ever heard in my life. The longest I can ever think of I was ever on a horde map was probably 3 hours. And that's because we were doing it on the hardest difficulty at launch because that's what we always do to get to wave 50. And since like, not Judgment, since like Gears 4, the class system had levels that benefited each other of it, and these, like, I forgot what they're called, like these like card systems that's basically perks, and that makes or breaks it. Gears 5, if you sink in at least, I'm going to spitball like maybe 250 waves on normal, you can do the hardest difficulty.
We were getting better and better and better at hunkering down and sniping these things. This does have the original version of horde mode, and Siege is on top. This is just an additional thing that allows you to play basically quicker versions and harder versions that are very well tuned. I think that Siege mode is great. I just want to hope that there's a lot more maps. They said there's one map in the beta, and honestly, it's not.
Super fan, by the way. Super fan. He claimed himself as a super fan, even though on the Gears of War official Twitter, they said in beta, there's one Horde Siege map, but at launch, there's 3. Super fan, by the way, easily reading a document. It's not even like basically reading. They put it up as a picture. We saw it on stream.
Fantastic. But they did say there's going to be 3 maps at launch. I hope they're bigger than this.
Oh, thank God he read.
Tiny, they're smaller than even other.
What? I have to hear that again.
I hope they're bigger than this, because to say they're tiny, they're smaller than even other multiplayer maps.
Is he calling the current Siege map in the beta tiny? Man, meth is a wild drug, huh? And I can say that now.
That will not be fun very long. I hope they also bring back high.
You know what? I'm curious about this. Since he called the map tiny, did you guys, whenever I was playing this game yesterday, feel like the map was tiny whenever I had to like run to the other side of the map. Like whenever I did at some point yesterday I ran from like one side of the map where my main objective was to the other side where the team was working on the corpser event. Did that feel tiny at all? Did I get there in like 10 seconds? Cuz that's what a tiny map would be. This map is huge.
Buster from Gears 5 because boy, did I love that mode. But
I have to hear you're stupid and I hate it.
they also bring back Hive Buster from Gears 5 because boy,
Hivebuster is a DLC campaign. You are thinking about escape, and the COG did in the lore go into the Locust tunnels, but very early on in the war, and they didn't really do much of it because it was their home ground. They were more prepared than what the COG initially thought. I don't see a way of them doing Hivebusters because Hivebusters' main appeal was you getting captured and running from a toxin. They never did any of that crap.
boy, did I love that mode. But let's talk about the PvP multiplayer because this ties in a lot. PvP multiplayer, in my opinion, is what makes Gears of War last so long. And also,
Incorrect. Very incorrect. Gears of War multiplayer, I hate to say it, is carried so much with the professionals. And when Horde mode came out, like, yes, I think Left 4 Dead came out before Gears. And Gears, like, set, like, the precedent for, like, basic, like, Horde stuff that you would want with, like, a class-based system. While Left 4 Dead was just, like, the beginning of it. But saying the multiplayer is what carried Gears, not really, because Gears has been like in such a constant decline of that, and even the developers over the years have put the multiplayer as like saying a second thought is too generous. It's more like a fourth thought. Because like basically how they treated multiplayer for like years is here's multiplayer, enjoy, be quiet all. That's what it felt like for years.
movement is universal. How you're running around in the siege mode is how you're going to be running around in the single player, right? So they have completely changed every single button of it. This is still just an aim and shoot style game, but now, honestly, they've changed active reload is one of the things of Gears of War, right? You press reload again, and you reload faster or get like bonus damage to your next couple shots. They've moved it from the top right of the screen down to the middle.
You can move it. You don't even have to open up an article for that. One of the first questions and the coalition's answers was, is active reload going to stay in the center of the screen forever? And they immediately, I think it was the same day that the gameplay preview came out, either then or like I know it was within the same week. They said no, you can move it to the top right. I even moved it to the top right. It's in the settings. Good job reading a tweet.
That to me, I really don't like. I did not mess with the options much because honestly, I knew I was only gonna have like 2 or
You fucking moron. You fucking moron. I also want to look through, like, when I open up the game, I want to look through the controller settings and see if there's an ability to, like, see if, you can have the original layout, because I don't know what the controller layout is. I've been playing it on mouse and keyboard. Holy shit.
3 hours to play, but this looks so weird. Something about the new space of the active reload is very different, but something they did is that in the original games, up until this point, bullets didn't really have travel time. If you were aiming at somebody and you pulled the trigger, it pretty much just teleported the shot to them. There wasn't actually like any bullet drop or like travel time. They've
Wrong. That's wrong. In Gears 1, 2, and 3, it was like, I forgot what they call it, like laser hit scan. but from like any Gears game after 3, they went to projectile base. That's wrong. I feel like you've only played Gears 1 and never played any of the other Gears.
Actually overhauled the physics engine, so now bullets do travel, which is interesting. I did find myself missing shots occasionally because it felt like bullets were moving so much slower. And I don't even know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it is weird to actually see my bullets for the first time, like sailing through the air and sometimes missing a shot I feel like I should have made. But
is your first Gears game Reloaded or Ultimate Edition? I cannot keep track of it. I feel like you only played that one and you were just like, yep, this is what every single Gears game after was like. There was never the pull enemy over cover mechanic. There was never chainsaw dueling. There was never anything else. There's just Gears 1, they had laser hit scan, and then Gears 2 laser hit scan, Gears 3 laser hit scan. Judgment not tactics. 4 and 5 had projectiles, but no, you never played that at all. Oh my god. Hey, content. 3 stream streak. Oh my god. And I'm keeping closer on. I do feel bad, Zanroar, because like I missed the 100 one. They don't travel, they walk. I thought it was a light skipping, like they're just skipping through.
that also brings me to the other aspect of this, which is just how weird the entire field of view looks. This feels so much more zoomed out and honestly just so much more loose in the aiming. And
play Gears 5 and max out the FOV. Pretty much how I had my gameplay during my marathon of Gears, my Gears marathon. I maxed out the FOV on Gears 4 and 5. Gears 5's FOV, like max it out, is much farther back than this one. This one is pretty tame, honestly. It's like the same as Gears 4.
This might be the thing that frustrates me the most. When you're running around, no longer in original game, going behind cover was A. You'd press A, you'd crouch down, and you'd cover behind something. This is very much the original cover-based chest-high wall shooter. And honestly, it defined the genre. This was the first truly 10 out of 10 cover-based shooter. But now, instead, you can crouch, you can climb stuff by pressing A and then Y. You can jump over stuff, which feels really weird to be jumping and climbing. But now, in order to sprint, you just click the stick. And honestly, the running animation looks terrible. Just a lot about this stuff just feels like your guy is always doing this.
What do you mean? You're wearing heavy armor and you're carrying 2 guns on you. You're complaining about how they move? Have you never worn armor before? You're wearing like this extremely heavy, bulky armor, and you are honestly expecting to run just like how you do in every other game instead of maneuvering your whole body to actually get yourself moving? That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Just like, oh, they were right. This is the worst take I've ever heard of. Bruv, easy change the settings. Yeah, he even said he didn't change the settings because he doesn't like the position of the reload location. And he even said, I have not opened up the settings. They even tweeted about that. That was their first question and answer tweet.
It feels like they're trying to modernize this in such a strange way. Now, obviously, Gears of War E-Day is a pre.
Oh, there he goes. There's what's been going on with the Halo. I don't even want to say community because these people have been getting called out so much of them saying they're modernizing the game. Oh my god. And every time I see these, I do comment saying the game is good. It has its minor flaws of sound, a little bit of like the glitching, and then literally the next day I see them talking about how great Halo Campaign Evolved is because it's now modernized.
takes place before all the other games. E-Day is the very famous event that kicked off the entire Gears of War timeline. It's Emergence Day, when the locusts burst up and killed about 95% of the world's population.
What was that shot? Hold on, I want to see that again. I want to see that shot again.
It's Emergence Day, when the locusts burst up and killed about 95%.
What are you aiming at? The guy is nowhere there, and you shot up here. Are you expecting him to fly? Is that why you compared Gears of War, saying Gears of War E-Day is too much like Call of Duty? Because Call of Duty players do the jumping mechanic way too much, and you just expected them to consistently jump up in the air? You're not even a liar that you're saying that you're a big Gears fan. You're also really bad at the game. Timu player. He's in the walls. He's in the goddamn walls.
5% of the world's population instantly. So I understand that the characters we love, Dom and everybody, right, Marcus, they're all going to be much more younger, much more action-packed, but I just don't think that making them these, like, goofy, hopping around, spray and pray Call of Duty bros was the right choice. I also think that graphically, the map looks good, the weapons look good, the characters look terrible. I don't know, something about Marcus and Dom and even a lot of the locusts.
I swear to God, if he complains that Marcus and Dom looks younger, because it's almost like it's 14 years before Gears 1, and you complain that they look different because of that, I'm going to have a fucking crash out on you.
They look kind of messed up. It looks like everybody is supposed to be in their 20s, but still played by like 60-year-old actors. It looks like bad
No shit. No shit. It's almost like this is a prequel game. They're using the original voice actors. And so it's almost like, time has moved forward in the real world, but we're going back to a prequel and we're using the same voice actors that people love for these distinguished characters. It's almost like they get older. It's a E-Day game, a beta game.
CGI de-aging, which obviously it's a video game, so that's not how it works.
Did he really just say DEI?
CGI de-aging, which obviously it's a video game, so that's not how it works. But everything about the character models just looks bad. I also just think that in general, this is a game.
I will say this. In the main menu, for some weird reason, Marcus like kind of glitches out on the face. I don't know why, but like whenever I played him in Siege, it was fine. It was just a menu thing. But like they look good. They actually look good in the game. And yes, they're going to de-age. We saw that in the gameplay preview of how Marcus got his scars on his face. And surprise alert, 14 years before Gears 1, which is set 14 years after E-Day, he's going to look younger. You don't look the same within 14 years. You change. You get older.
And it's a very high skill.
Fake COG player? He's a fake. He claimed himself as a big Gears of War fan. He claimed himself as that. He's nothing more than a liar.
For worse, part of the problem in Gears of War is that if you become the best at it, you could be an unstoppable juggernaut. Anybody that's played Gears of War knows you'll run into lobbies where one guy is getting 25 kills by himself. Wall bouncing, canceling, doing instant reloads, sniping, packing up power weapons, right? That's kind of the specific joy of Gears of War, though, is that you can just play only Gears and get better and better and better and better. It feels like
it's called skill. Yes, Gears of War is going to have a distinct difference between like one of the things about Ultimate Edition that was very apparent when it released, and it was the first Gears game to be released on PlayStation. Well, actually, right now it's the only game on PlayStation. There was the distinct difference of that with the PlayStation players, that they quit the game because of the veteran Gears players just wall bouncing everywhere and using the Nasher. There was a distinct difference of that, and a lot of PlayStation players did quit the game because of that, because of the distinct skill difference. Now, there are PlayStation players who did stick around, and they eventually learned wall bouncing. They eventually learned how to play the game, but that's a skill thing. I know he's a problem. He's got the pixel graphics, probably. Probably.
They're trying to make a game that's more accessible, more playable, more killable, so that when you go into these lobbies, you're putting points on the board, even if you're very, very bad at the game. Now, again, these are just impressions after just a couple hours, but I have to say that as a Gears of War fan, completely overhauling every aspect of it, adding in slide cancels and all sorts.
You can't slide cancel. I'm going to stop that theory, like that promise theory right there. You cannot slide cancel. I have tried yesterday. You cannot. I already had to correct more lies, but that's impossible. There's just because they're sliding in the game does not mean you can always slide cancel.
Of like active reloads mid sprint, it just feels like they're trying to make a completely different game out of the Gears of War we love.
It's because it is a completely different game. It was literally built up from the ground. Gears of War from Gears 1 to 5 has been used the same fundamentals since Cliff Bleszinski put in the whole system back when Epic Games made Gears instead of Fortnite. And because of the fact that they moved everything to the Unreal Engine and they literally started from nothing and now we got this, which looks and plays incredible. Yes, nothing is the same because everything from the original concepts of Gears is not here. And they built upon everything and they made it better. Bro played the boot camp and now he's the pro. He's going to get dunked on.
And I guess I'm just super heartbroken about that. I think I'm still excited about the story of Gears of War E-Day. I'm just such a lore nerd. I've even read all the Gears of War books and the Gears of War comics, which, as bad as people...
I fucking doubt that. I doubt that so much. I've only read the comics of Gears. I have not read the books because it's a lot harder to find the Gears books than it is for Halo books. I doubt you've read anything of Gears.
People say they are. I will always say the Gears of War comics and the Gears of War books are genuinely fantastic. I guess I'm in a spot where I'm disappointed that they're trying to make Gears of War E-Day into Halo or Call of Duty or something like that.
What? No. You're so like, holy crap. This person has admitted to smoke meth and it shows. It shows a lot. No, because here's the thing. Halo can't even make itself Halo, which is a sad thing, but it's very true. Halo's main issue was during the decade of 343's time, Bonnie Ross just kept saying, oh, Call of Duty's doing this, let's do this, because we have Halo 4. Halo 4 went up and did this whole class system. It pissed off everybody. The class systems were not worth it. Call of Duty can't even be Call of Duty. Call of Duty's main focus, what they've been doing, and no one can see it, is they bring in a system, they remove it, 3 to 4 years later, it comes back, and then we're like, oh my god, we're so fucking back. Gears is actually innovating and changing things. They're still sticking to the main core line of Gears, but they're actually improving things instead of copying it from other people, like what Halo and Call of Duty has been doing. This is oh my god, no wonder this is being labeled as the worst review.
Instead of making Gears be the best Gears.
This is the best Gears. Gears realistically has been in a decline since Gears 3. It got a little bit of push up during Gears 4, but then when they found out about the gacha system mechanic and how fast that they stopped the development of multiplayer, it went back on the downward trend, and then Gears 5 did not help its case at all. Gears has not been in an upward trend since at least Gears 3.
I don't know, man. Off the cuff thoughts. I'm not thrilled about that. I honestly do not think I'm going to be playing any more of the beta, even just after a couple of hours. Yikes. They are doing a closed beta this week and an open beta next week. Try it for yourself. It's only on Xbox. It's probably the last Xbox.
Wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're so fucking wrong. It's on Xbox and PC. Wrong.
Exclusive. You do have to.
It's also not their last exclusive. Xbox has also said they're pulling back their exclusives to be both Xbox and PC. They're just pulling off of PlayStation.
Buy the game to play it, or I think it is on Game Pass Ultimate. I bought the game because I bought every single Gears of War since the very start.
I fucking doubt that.
I'm already kind of regretting it. But how do you feel about current day Gears of War? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and please keep dreaming. It's weird I've been doing these like deep dive Gears of War videos for like, I want to say 15 years. I mean,
Okay. Let's put on our tinfoil hats here. Let's do that. He says he's been playing Gears for 15 years and he played Gears of War 1. He bought a 360 just for Gears of War 1. Let's put on our thinking caps really quick. Gears of War 1 released in 2006. It is 2026. By this time, of at least 20 years, we've already had Gears 2. I want to read your comments section.
some of my earliest videos were like Gears of War 3 and then the Gears of War 4 beta. And here I am talking about the Gears of War 6 beta. Ooh, time flies.
It's not Gears of War 6. There are... With Gears of War E-Day releasing, this will be Gears of War 7. We have no information about Gears of War 6. We have not had information about Gears of War next mainline title in like 8 years, I think. 7 or 8 years. We know nothing about the ending of Gears 5 of what's canon. And yet you're doing this.